This gravel lot in front of me a month, 2 months ago was a stand of trees. So the parking lot I'm walking across, which is on Arcadia Drive, right near the Norfolk Southern Main Line, used to be a textile company that only recently closed. So I'm not sure who's bought the building, but they've made a parking lot out of this, so apparently they're expecting to need a good amount of parking for this building. The thing we're really here to look at, though, is on over there. That is going to be the new County of Greenville Greenlink Transportation bus maintenance facility. So the retaining wall that they've built along the back end of their property, that is backing up to that berm. That berm is the Norfolk Southern Main Line. So there's berm, trees, and then up beyond the trees there's the berm continues to even with that elevation of the tracks right there, and actually going slightly downhill through here. So it probably even maybe drops back down a little bit before it gets to the tracks. So there's a little bit of drainage off that berm on each side. The neighborhood on the other side of that property, where the maintenance garage is being built, is Washington Heights. This was the historic site of a black high school when schools were segregated, I believe. I'm guessing with it being Washington Heights, it was Washington High School. But some of the first improvements they made on the property were to aid in drainage, because the Washington Heights neighborhood had flooding problems over the years. So the first thing they wanted to address is they want to make sure that you're making life better for the people in this neighborhood. So that in fact, you can kind of see at the far distance there, beyond the mud, there's some really fresh green grass down low. I bet you that's a retention pond that'll has drainage from it that leads into the sewers that drain the stormwater. Similarly, you can see there's a low area on this side of the property, and you can tell by how tall the trees are that it's been here a long time. This has been a low area, but I'm sure if there's any problem with this low area filling up, that they've worked on drainage from this low area too. Most of the actual buildings, as you can see where the pipes are coming up on the property, are more over to this side. Oh, you kind of see a creek down there even. I see some water there. I can see it down between the trees. I don't know how well it shows in the video. There's some water down there. Now, I believe in addition to the maintenance facilities, it may be that some of the offices for Greenlink will be here too. And that same road that runs parallel to the tracks there, that Arcadia Drive, well, this curves around. This is still Arcadia Drive, all the way down to Rutherford Road. There's some foundation being set up down there. On one side of the property, there's supposed to be potentially a future connection to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. So, you know, to me that just says Parks Department land. There's already a little park in Washington Heights, so I'm hoping whatever trail they would plan would connect into that. That'd be nice. Got some vertical construction here. The other logical place to have connection to the Swamp Rabbit Trail is down towards this end of the property. There's some former rail lines that go through Washington Heights that are the tracks haven't literally been cut, but they've been covered with big piles of gravel to where they're cut off. No rail cars come down past that point. And originally, like 60, 70 years ago, it connected through to the Greenville rail yard. Well, even 50 years ago, that was probably cut. And so after that, it was just industrial spurs to get to warehouses like the ones that are on the other side of Arcadia Drive from where I've been filming all this time. All these warehouses. There's no tracks right here, but there you can see a sign for the tracks right there. If you ever drive down Worley Road and you cross a set of tracks right by the concrete company that's near the corner of Worley Road and Rutherford Road, right behind the little, used to be a corner store, now they're putting something else in there. Those tracks are at the disconnected point, basically right behind the concrete plants where the tracks are all covered up with gravel. Here's the neighborhood sign. Welcome to New Washington Heights. Arcadia Road, Arcadia Drive, and O. Jones Street. Now, even though those tracks are covered with gravel, the school bus has to stop, of course. Anyhow, one of those tracks, I think there may even be 3 tracks here. If there's 3 tracks here, the bus is at the final one. The final one there is the one that comes over at the over Worley Road at that concrete plant. Thomas Concrete, I believe is what it is. And then trains would have came down there to back in there. And back in there, there'd be a switch that would lead to these 2 sets of tracks that lead to these warehouses right here. Actually, I think this is the one to the, yeah. This is the one, there's Thomas's Concrete right there. So boom, we're right in line with it. That silo says, got a big T on it, TH, even THO, that's Thomas. So I don't know what the bus was stopping again for. Oh, there is another track down there. So apparently down there, okay, the train would have come up this track over from Thomas to serve these warehouses here. There's one spur here, which only basically leads to the nearest building on that side of the track. It's an abandoned building that's got a bunch of busted out windows and trees coming through the roof. Then if you were going to these other warehouses over here, that's behind the trees there, they would have had to go further down this track, switch to that switch to go there. Or if they were going to that industry down there, I would imagine there's another switch even further back up in the trees this way. So all the trains would have had to come this way after the connection through to the yard had been closed, you know, 67 years ago, whatever it was. So you've got basically rail trail potential. I don't know if I know there's at least one place where there's an industry near Poinsett Highway that's been built over the former right-of-way. But other than right at that business, you pretty much could connect through to very near Poinsett Highway anyhow. So Washington Heights starts here. This is really the sort of east end of Washington Heights, and then you got the industrial space between Arcadia and over to Worley Road. Warehouse is sort of as a buffer. So warehouses aren't as loud as, say, an industrial, like I work at a factory on the other side of Worley Road. Where's the warehouse space, you know? You may have some trucks backing into the docks during the day, but there's not a lot of other noise being made at those sites, I would think. Although I think one of those was a metal fabrication shop, but still, you know, what are you doing? A little welding inside? The point of building a bus maintenance facility here is to replace a smaller bus maintenance facility that's right in downtown. I think it's somewhere off McBee Avenue. And it's just landlocked. So with Greenville growing and growing, bus service having been increased from something that used to be only, I don't know if it was ever just Monday through Friday, but Monday through Saturday, and mostly in the daytime, and then now they go to 11:30 at night. They have to have more buses. Eventually they're going to have more routes, more service, as the population of this county is going to grow by, it's like 40% between now and 2040, or maybe it was more now, some huge amount. So we need to prepare for growth, and one of the things you got to have for growth is transit. I mean, it just only makes sense. So I would like to look at some of this near side land. From what I saw on the plans, as being some of the most likely are going to be a little bit of parkland that they're attaching to the project. On the other side of the street here, although I said there's rails back there, they don't go too deep. In fact, I can see the buildings that are facing Rutherford Road through the trees a little bit. So it's just not very far to Rutherford Road from here. Well, that may even be from a side street. Yeah, that's housing. So, oh, those are accessed off Rutherford Road. There are some apartments or other kind of housing over there along Rutherford Road. So basically those do front Rutherford Road, and that's getting down to housing there. So I'm going to stop walking this way, so I don't need to be talking to myself in front of people sitting on their porch in the morning. Anyhow, just a little bit of a look at the work occurring here, because some of this work will be done and I would have said, gee, I should have took some pictures and video while they were building that bus maintenance facility. I got a chance to see it while it was being built. I mean, I go drive past here on a fairly regular basis and take a look, and I've been impressed. You know, there was a lot of digging down before anything started as far as beyond that, because like I said, the first thing they wanted to work on was drainage. So, you know, that's one of the signs of a good project, where they put the underground infrastructure in and pay a lot of attention to that before they do anything else. So that's what I want to see. Planning for the future, thinking for the future, trying to make the world a little bit better place, one little project at a time. A little stone marker over here at this little neighborhood park setting. Let's see what it says. Is this a grave marker or historical marker? O. Jones Street is dedicated to the memory of Otis James Jones, 1907 to 1952, dedicated 1993. That's very nice. Some cacti. We're just coming off the winter, so getting into the hot time of the year, probably very practical to have cacti. I've seen several places in Greenville where people have used cacti for plantings. They seem to do fine. I've seen some that are clearly have been there a long time and have been flourishing in certain places. I hear a train. What if I'm gonna be able to see it through the trees there? Probably not. Pretty dense.